Hey everyone, welcome to week 6 of our course in the United States in the 20th century. We're now ready to focus on the decade of the 1960s, and so I imagine this will be of great interest to many of you. It's a decade that's gotten a lot of attention. It edges ever closer to our own era, sort of the modern era. And in fact, that decade of the 1960s contained many of the issues and the circumstances and the personalities that have contributed in a very direct way to much of the environment that we have today, for better or for worse. And so you'll want to pay special attention to this. And this week, your reading is chapter 29, America in the 1960s. So read that, and a reminder that this week is another week wherein I have a scheduled optional live Zoom session on Thursday evening. So it'll be Thursday evening. What's the specific date? The 17th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Be a little bit longer this time. I always end up with not enough time when I try to do it in just 1 hour. So um, I encourage as many of you can to be there. We'll kind of talk about uh, the content of the course up to this point, and I'll have some kind of things to share, some perspectives that go beyond what I'm able to do within the scope of the actual discussion forums and announcement spaces and that sort of thing. So I hope you can make it. If you do make it to the Zoom session on Thursday, then you can consider that in lieu of your posting in the online discussions for this week, just like we did when we had the Zoom session for week 2. If you can't or choose not to attend the Zoom session on Thursday, then simply post in the discussion forums like normal. And so either way is a win. And either way, you'll be able to engage with your fellow classmates and with me in content around the course. So when you engage in the reading this time, you're going to notice that there's quite a bit of attention given to political circumstances and developing cultural ones as well. Um, you know, most of the 1960s was encompassed by the Kennedy administration and the Lyndon Johnson administrations in the White House. Richard Nixon came into office right at the very end of the decade in 1969, but most of the decade in the 1960s belonged to the um, Kennedy and Johnson administration. So the White House was under a Democratic administration through most of that time. In the 1960s, the country was dealing with a number of uh, different challenges, the Vietnam War being primary amongst those. So, if you're interested in that, you'll find some interest in the role of the Vietnam War in this decade. Also, there's attention given in the reading to the civil rights movement, especially as regards the Black community, but also with regard to women's rights and some of the other groups that have continued to strive and struggle for equal treatment ever since that time. So um, that's just kind of my intro and summary of the week. I look forward to seeing you in the discussions. I gotta say, I commend all of you for the way you're engaging in the course. There's nobody's dropping behind, nobody's dropping off the edge of things. Everybody seems to be fully engaged, posting every week, submitting your assignments on time. So for that, I'm grateful. I commend you, and I especially commend you for the manner in which you're engaging in the discussion forums, not only answering the questions and not only responding to one another, but doing so in a way that's respectful, in a way that treats others as you would want to be treated, and in many cases, kind of helping to draw out engagement from others. And that's really the way it ought to be. So I can tell that all of you have had some experience with online forums and your other classes, and I'm very happy with how you're engaging. So keep at it. And again, a reminder to be viewing or listening to the extra resources that I post. That really provides the extra um, kind of just color and texture to the course beyond just reading a text and posting online. I try to provide some things that are interesting and shed light on other aspects of the culture of the country in a given time period. So make sure that you just listen to the songs, watch the short videos, and kind of soak that in too. Because I mean, most of it is stuff you can find online yourself, but I've kind of curated those items and located them and included them in context in a place where they ought to be. So do be accessing those and opening up and viewing or listening to each one. All right. So that's all I have for you, and I'll see you in the discussions and or see many of you, I hope, on Thursday evening. All right.